Coming up in the morning edition, Royal Caribbean Cruise Line backpedals on its Bahamas warning. There's a woman in custody for firing a gun. And we have more from the Junkanoo community on the New Year's Day Junkanoo Parade. It's the third day of the new year and the parties are still in full swing. Good morning to all of you. I'm LaDon Davis and this is the Morning Edition. Thank you so much for waking up with us. And joining us live here in studio on the Morning Edition to tell us how things are shaping up weather-wise is Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good morning and Happy New Year, Basil.
Good morning, LaDon, and Happy New Year to you as well. Our ZNS Tower Cam is showing their clear skies after some late night, early morning showers. And as we go to our satellite picture, we'll see that we have this prefrontal trough approaching central Florida. That's pushing towards the northwest Bahamas, and we'll tell you what will happen with that later in the newscast. That will be followed by the frontal system itself, which we'll get in here sometime on Saturday. But outside of our studios, we have just a few clouds, temperature 73 degrees, relative humidity at 88%, easterly winds at 7 miles per hour, your barometric pressure 1,019.0 millibars, that's 30.09 inches, and it is rising. Temperatures around the islands this morning picking up 74 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Greenville, Key, and Marsh Harbor, Abaco. In the Berry Islands, 76. 76 also in Alistown, Bimini, 76 in Harbor Island, Roxanne, Eleuthera at 75, 76 in Artisan, Cat Island, Stanley Key, Kemp Space, St. Andrews, Fresh Creek and Central Andros, all at 76 degrees. And more 76 in San Salvador and Rum Key as we take you into Clarencetown, Long Island, and warm up just a tad, 77 degrees. Also Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, Mayaguana, Ragged Island, Ackles, Matthew, Niagara, all at 77. The Turks and Caicos Islands at 78 degrees. Your boating forecast for today in the northwest and central islands, southeast winds 12 to 18 knots. Those wave heights are going to be around 3 to 6 feet. High tide at 5:48 this morning. Low tide at 12:17 in the afternoon. And for the southeast Bahamas, southeasterly flow 15 to 20 knots. Wave heights 4 to 7 feet. So small craft, we ask you to exercise caution in the southeast Bahamas. And that's going to do it for your first look at Weather in the Morning Edition. Stay tuned. Your forecast for today and tonight is still ahead.
Thanks a lot, Basil. Meanwhile, traffic reporter Sieska Adderley is standing by with traffic cops to tell us what's happening on our streets this morning. Hello, Sieska.
Good morning. This morning's traffic report, we're coming to you live from the airport in Industrial Road. If those of you are not familiar with it, we're on the western side of the island. And this morning we're talking wet road conditions with Sergeant Crestania Johnson from the Police Traffic Division. Good morning, Sergeant Johnson. How are you?
A pleasant good morning to you and a pleasant good morning, Bahamas. Well, like you said just a while ago, we're dealing with wet road conditions. And as we mentioned yesterday, we want to keep your vehicles in proper working order. And this is one of the reasons why. Whenever you're traveling on a wet road, the most important thing you want to pay attention to is your brakes being sound, is your windshield wipers in proper working order, your headlights in proper working order. We want this to be in place so that if something was to happen, you're able to adjust. Many times when you're traveling on wet roads, the friction that you usually have when the road is dry, you don't have that when the road is wet. So if you're traveling at a particular speed and you need to brake suddenly and your tires are not sound, you may end up skidding on the road. And these are some things we want to avoid.
So apart from wet road conditions, what are some of the other challenges that you all find in this area?
Well, when it comes to, I will just piggyback on defective vehicles. I know one or two persons, if you've seen it while you're driving, you have persons who, when they're driving, the window is foggy. This takes away from their view. We find persons who are wiping their windshield while they're driving. All of this distracts the person from the road. We want to discourage this act and ask persons to have their vehicles rectified. Another thing we find is people overtaking improperly within this area. We're just standing here in this short period of time, we observe a number of vehicles overtaking other vehicles while not ascertaining their way clear. This is something we want to discourage as much as possible, especially with wet road conditions. We advise you to, as much as possible, if you need to go around another vehicle, please ensure that your view is clear, that you're not approaching a curve or a corner, and just be mindful that the driver who's ahead of you may not have seen your indicator to know that you're going around them, so just proceed around them with caution.
And overtaking with speed.
overtaking with people. We want to extreme. That's not, we just not tolerated. We're not even taking stands with that. Just completely do not do it. As far as we're concerned, we want you to focus on the road. We want you to, again, to arrive alive. So do whatever it is in your power to control your vehicle and get to where you need to get in a timely fashion.
All right. Thank you so much, Sergeant Cressenia Johnson from the Traffic Division, reminding us of what to do when we're driving under wet road conditions. Back to you in the studio, LaDon.
Thanks a lot, Sieska. Now on to our top story this morning. Officials from Royal Caribbean International are now advising the cruise line's guests to exercise the same common sense they would in any major city. This redrafted statement follows an advisory initially sent out warning passengers about crime in various tourist hotspots here in New Providence, including Arawak Key, which many vendors saw as a threat to their livelihoods. The cruise line, which delivers nearly 1.5 million people a year to the port of Nassau, says it's merely wanted to ensure guest comfort and security. The statement went on to say that it encourages guests to disembark and enjoy the destination with all the cultural experiences that's unique to the historic city. Additionally, Royal Caribbean has offered to work with officials and vendors whose businesses are frequented by guests to help ensure maximum safety and security. In other news this morning, a 30-year-old woman is in police custody following a viral video recently released on social media. The video shows the woman in the passenger seat of a moving vehicle discharging a firearm while smoking a popular cigar. The woman, who received instructions from an unseen male in the back seat of the car, fired the gun in nearby bushes out of the moving car. The male encouraged her by calling her his shooter. Investigations are ongoing. Meanwhile, on a lighter note, the young residents of the Ranfley Home for Children and the Elizabeth Estates Children's Homes were treated to a post-Christmas party courtesy of the Happy Hearts Foundation. Approximately 55 youth were treated to the traditional ham, turkey, and all the fixings handed out by a local fraternity that partnered with Happy Hearts Foundation founder Valencia Ramsey on the charitable initiative. She began the organization in 2017 because she says she loves giving back.
That is the greatest joy ever. It is to see other people happy makes me happy, and I like to see people happy. And knowing that I could do something for other people other than myself, especially people who could barely help themselves, that's like the best joy ever. I'm just grateful that I have the opportunity to actually do this because, you know, a lot of people want to give back, but they don't have the resources or the means or the opportunities. But God always sees it through that I'm able to carry it out, and He also provides me with my lovely volunteers, especially a particular fraternity, in particular the Omega Qs. They're always on hand, clothing drives, whatever I do, party functions, they're always there.
From the food, there are games and picture taking. Ramsey says the event is one of several she has organized since she launched her Happy Hearts, thanks to the help of her sponsors.
I have a lot of friends that have a lot of free time to volunteer, so I just hit them up and be like, y'all want to let's do this? And they'd be like, yeah, let's go through with it. And we just plan and we carry it out. We have the bouncing castle, we have face painting, we have a photo booth, we have snow cone, popcorn, cotton candy, we have pin the kill on the donkey, we have pin the nose on the clown, we have dominoes.
And coming up after the break, we are going to check with the Junkanoo community to see just how they feel about the New Year's Day Junkanoo Parade results. That and more when the morning edition comes right back. Welcome back to the Morning Edition. Bragging rights are now the order of the day for the Paradise Games Valley Boys Junkanoo group since they secured the win of the 2019 New Year's Day Junkanoo Parade. Determined to come back and take the win after an unsatisfactory second spot in the Boxing Day Parade, the Valley Boys put their best foot forward and reaped the spoils. Jiminy DeSwain reports.
The Valley Boys meant business when they returned to Bay Street on New Year's Day with a focused plan to win. The group won the overall parade with an unofficial score of 86.95 points. The theme, we give God thanks and total praise. That was enough to return the group to the winner's circle. For Chairman Brian Adderley, the group is very happy with the unofficial results.
Jubilant is the word that I would use. I'm happy for our members and our fans and supporters. They were with us all year. Our members did a lot of hard work in preparation for both Boxing Day and New Year's. We were confident that we had two strong themes to present on Boxing Day and New Year's. And our only decision this year was whether or not we would have done the New Year's Day theme on Boxing Day and switched them around, but we were quite happy with our performance.
Judges also awarded the Valley Boys Best Music, Best Choreograph, and Best Overall Performance.
Out of all of the groups, we had the two unique themes because we were celebrating ourselves. Nobody else could celebrate the Valley Boys other than the Valley Boys. We thought that some of the other themes that were presented were old recycled themes with different names. And so we thought that we had a unique presentation to make. And interestingly enough, people expected a traditional celebratory parade, but with the help of our members and some creative genius, we were able to find a different way to celebrate ourselves. And I think we accomplished our goals. We'd have liked to win the Boxing Day parade, but you know, we celebrated those persons that have made the Valley Boys what it is today.
As for the music, senior brass member Ron Adderley says the group was not happy with the Boxing Day performance, which meant doubling up and work to snatch the top music prize on New Year's Day.
A mission to captivate the New Year's Day parade. So a day after the results was called, we went into brass practice, went back to the old gospel hymns like Father Abraham, Whisper a Prayer, I Will Bless the Lord, and to see the pleasure on the crowd face was all we wanted to do.
Well, the Valley Boys say they plan to do some cleaning up at their shacks and then pay some bills, and then it's time for a grand celebration. Jiminita Swain, ZNS Network News.
The Shell Saxon Superstars are calling on executives of the Junkanoo Parade management team to make some drastic changes into the overall success of the Boxing Day and New Year's Day Junkanoo parades. Public Relations Officer Kendany Campbell-Moss says the Saxons are outraged over the fact that there are far too many people on Bay Street doing nothing, forcing delays and crippling the morale and energy of the groups.
Of persons that stand in people's way. There are too many people that are just standing in Watson Square not doing anything. They're lollygagging and just pontificating and making it worse for the actual participants. When it's time for us or the girls to spread out, or when it's time for the musicians to come through, or even the leads to come through, you are getting directly in the group's way. How are you expecting the participants to actually perform? Everybody wants to be on Bay Street. Give the marshals sufficient space, let them do what needs to be done.
The music makers and the Prodigal Sons never made it onto Bay Street despite their intent to do so for the New Year's Day Junkanoo Parade. Campbell-Moss says she is not surprised that both groups were a no-show for the biggest cultural showdown of the year.
I mean, all due respect to both of those groups, but it's characteristically monumental that they do that. That is what they do. We would have hoped that they would show up because it creates a better mentality for the overall success of the parade, but they didn't, and they had their reasons for not showing up.
Members of the One Family Junkanoo Community Organization were not able to make it a two-straight win following a crushing fourth-place finish after the unofficial New Year's Day Junkanoo results. Public Relations Coordinator Anthony A.C. Coakley says the group is disappointed with the outcome.
Our theme depiction, I feel, was much, much stronger and made more of a connection on Boxing Day than it did on New Year's Day. Art being so abstract, to use such a term, may have been a harder thing for judges to be able to see what we were portraying throughout the entire group, and our group costuming particularly that carries a lot of points. So I think that may have been the major downfall for us from the group costuming perspective.
Coakley admits, though, there was pressure on the group to come out the gates strong on New Year's Day following its Boxing Day win. And while they didn't get the results they had hoped for, Coakley is proud of the group's efforts as members put their best foot forward for both parades.
We had an extremely strong first lap on Bay, Shirley Street. We got second place on Shirley Street with the Shirley Street performance and came back and delivered just as strong a performance. So, you know, we have nothing to feel bad about where that is concerned, outside of the fact that we just didn't end up in the top spot where we were expecting. But I've got to say kudos to the entire Anne's Patch, the entire One Family organization for an amazing job. And, of course, congratulations to the New Year's Day champions, the Valley Boy. Paris Almond said it best, warriors don't cry. Simple as that. We just bounce back and do it better.
Well, Johnny, thank God John Canoe is over. Now we can get back to some sort of normalcy.
Exactly. All the trash talking is finished, and the Valley Boys have won.
What's coming up in sports?
Well, the 2019 track and field calendar that kicks off on the weekend.
That story and more ahead in sports.
Welcome to sports, everybody. We start off in the NBA. DeAndre Ayton and the Phoenix Suns playing for the first time in 2019 last night at home against the Philadelphia 76ers. It wasn't the best of starts for DeAndre and the Suns as they went down by as many as 30 points. But the home team never gave up, and they actually cut that deficit to 3 late in the ball game. That would be the closest the Suns would get, though, as Philly holds on for a 132-127 victory. DeAndre finishing up 8 of 12 from the field, another double-double, 18 points and 11 rebounds in 34 minutes.
This is what I was thinking during the game. You know, there's a day off tomorrow. I'm going all out, you know. I'm going to go all out, you know, and it's contagious, and everybody else start doing the same thing. So, you know, that right there, you could tell the team forgot about the scoreboard. We were just coachable, locked in, ready to run what coach wanted to run. And, you know, we just stayed as a unit and just stayed positive. You know, the main thing on this team is just positivity, you know, having guys, you know, level of encouragement to a certain part and, you know, just going out there battling with each other.
The 2019 track and field season gets underway this weekend. It's all about the annual odd distance meet.
The odd distance is always a favorite of the coaches because the different events that we run is the same type of event distances that we would run during our practice session. So it's a good milestone to let the coaches know maybe they need to add a little bit more speed to their ingredients or a little bit more over distance.
With the start of the new season, the B3As has a new executive board in place, and they're looking forward to what lies ahead.
We have a lot of meets this year, especially the World Championship, the World Relays, the Pan American Games, the CAC Games. So we have a lot of meets for this year, preparing for next year, because, you know, next year is the big year. It's the Olympic year. So this year, prepare you for the 2020, the Olympic year. So when you look at the upcoming season, it's going to be rough in terms of the competition. You know, we still have the same set of athletes. We have the Shawnee Miller, the Jeffrey Gibson, Donald Thomas, Pajia Seymour, Devin Charlton. We still have the group, but now we're looking for new athletes to come aboard. Most of our athletes in college. So when the college season is over, we hope that they'll be ready, not tired.
The track athletes themselves are geared up and ready to go. Devin Charlton enters her first season as a professional, while Kennard Rowe closes out his collegiate career at Purdue.
Track and field is something I've wanted to pursue ever since I was young, and so to be doing it professionally, I get paid to do something I love, is really amazing. I'm blessed in that regard. I switched training camps, so I'm in Montgomery, Alabama with Coach Charles Ryan. I'm going pretty good so far. I really like the area. It's a good atmosphere, I'd say, to train in. Really small city, not much going on. In terms of meets and things that I'm pursuing this year, definitely working towards the World Championships. That's going to be my main focus. Apart from that, not sure if I'm going to be doing too much indoor meets since the season will be so long.
I expect to do some PRs this year, try and make the World Championship team, you know, do my best, you know, represent the country well once I get to the stage.
While our track and field athletes are ready for the new season, our Sieska Adderley has made a New Year's resolution and is looking to start 2019 off in a positive way, getting in shape. Ready or not, she joins us live from the MacFit 360 studio. Sieska, it's all yours.
Hey, Johnny, I'm here at MacFit 360 West, and I'm working on one of my New Year's resolutions, which is getting in shape. And here to help me whip my butt into shape is Scott Forbes, the manager here. Good morning and Happy New Year to you.
Good morning, Happy New Year, Bahamas, and welcome, Sieska. Well, this morning, I'm glad you can come here at MacFit 360, where we always bring the energy. I know it's early, but today we're going to put you through a good energizing workout and see how you feel afterwards.
Okay, and so what will be the benefit of this workout that I'm about to embark on?
Most definitely somebody in your line of work is going to give you a lot of energy so you can carry throughout the day. And, you know, it's definitely going to give you some strength and some conditioning. Obviously, This is just one workout. We need you to be more consistent, but today we'll give you a start with that New Year's resolution.
All right, so just give me a little tease into what some of the workout will entail.
Well, some of the workout, like we all know, we're going to start with a little warm-up, and then we're going to hit our Kaiser Functional Multi-Purpose Trainer, which we can do just about anything on the trainer. And we're going to go into a light stretch afterwards, cool you down, and let you get back on to work.
All right, so let's hit it. Let's hit it, Scott.
Let's hit it.
All right, what's first?
All right, first, this is our VersaClimber.
So you need
This is going to get you warmed up. I'm going to need you to step your foot in the straps.
all the way up here.
All the way up here. Step down.
Alrighty.
Take it easy. We're going to need you to hold the handles.
Okay.
And then we're going to need you to hold this handle right here. We got our settings right here, which is quick start.
Uh-huh.
And we just need you to go ahead like you're climbing the stairs. It's going to get you all nice and warmed up and get ready for the action ahead. All right? That's it. Nice and easy. You got a speaker talking to you,
Yes.
letting you know, encouraging you to keep going. Yeah, this is one of our better exercise machines.
And so how long should we be doing this for,
I would just
Scott?
do it for about 30 seconds just to get you warmed up and get ready to go. So, all right, we can stop right here.
Okay.
Now we're going to move on to our Kaiser Functional Trainer. Some of you might not be familiar with this machine, but this is a multi-purpose machine. We can do just about anything with this machine right here. So let me demonstrate for you before you get into here. We're going to take these straps right here. We're going to work 2 muscle groups in one. We're going to walk out. We're going to be doing a squat with a rope. So we're going to squat down right here. And as we come up, we're going to pull tight on these straps. Make sure it's nice and smooth, no jerking motion. So we're going to be here. We're going to stand up and pull. We're going to squat. We're going to stand up and roll. All right? So, Charlie, get on in here.
Okay, so what am I doing?
Let me know if it's too heavy.
So I'm squatting here.
So we're going to squat down first. And as we come up, we're going to rotate those arms and pull. There we go. There you go. Use it natural like this, right?
Aha!
Let's go. We're just going to go for a few more reps. Let's go 5 more. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. And 1. Good. Now we're going to walk in. Like I said, this is a multi-purpose trainer. We're still going to stay right here. Now we're going to go into bicep curl. We're going to stay right here. We're going to curl. We're going to curl. All right? So those of you who know what the biceps are, it's right here in front of the arms right here. You can let me know if it's too heavy. You stay straight. Nice and controlled. It's a little heavy, so adjust the weight.
Just starting out, Scott.
Just starting out. I got you. I got you. That's it. Let's do a few more curls. Looking good. Let's go 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. And 1 more. Good. There you go. How you feeling so far?
I'm surviving.
Now, definitely we're going to adjust the arms. Like I said.
Okay, Scott, this will have to be the last one. I'm getting the wrap-up signal. But I'll continue to work out after.
All your women favorite move right here is for the core section. So we're just going to take the handles right out here and we're just going to rotate and rotate. So,
okay.
Just to get on in there.
So I am going to set up for this last one, but thank you so much, Scott. I'm going to continue my workout, but for now, back to you in the studio, Johnny.
Well, thanks a lot, Sieska, and I hope you were listening. Consistency is key. And that is a look at sports in the morning edition. Don't go anywhere. A final look at weather is still to come.
In our final look at whether that area of high pressure that's been producing some moderate to strong breezes across the islands will begin relaxing tomorrow. So we'll see winds down to about 10 to 15 knots in the northwest Bahamas tomorrow, and in the central and southeastern islands, they'll be around 12 to 18 knots. Meanwhile, we have this prefrontal line of showers approaching central Florida that will push into the northwest Bahamas, followed by the frontal system itself. That frontal boundary, we expect it to go through the capital sometime on Saturday afternoon. That will bring with it wet conditions, which will not last very long, but behind that, a nice cool down will take place. Today, we're going in for mostly sunny with a moderate breeze in place, but as we told you, those winds will start decreasing tomorrow, and your high temperature today should get up to about 82 degrees. Tonight, it's looking like partly cloudy with a passing shower or two late during the night or early morning hours. Low temperature getting down to 71 degrees. Your extended weather forecast, showers, as you can see, working its way back into our forecast on Saturday ahead of that frontal system. Behind that, nice drying out, lots of sunshine on Sunday, heading into the early part of next week. LaDon?
Thanks a lot, Basil. And that does it for the morning edition. Thanks for waking up with us. Make sure to join us for our 2-hour newscast starting at 6 p.m. I'm LaDon Davis. Have a great day.